going on, internet? It's Nezzo's Bad Shop. How are you doing? I think the camera is working properly. I changed cameras, so there shouldn't be any weird non-brightness action going. It should look very nice, and you should be able to see all the things without having to strain your eyes. I had to fix the last video I made anyway, so I'm going to jump right in. Another unboxing video, and it is from a company of the shirt I'm wearing right here, OMG. Check this out. This is the second generation OMG ESC. It's called the Polaris DR120AX2. And look at this. Turbo. Ooh. That's right. This has turbo and boost on it, which is really cool. The only other ESC that I own in one of these wonderful vehicles that actually has a boost capability is by Sanwa. So this is going to be something a little different for me. Now this particular box I've already opened because I was at the track and me and another fellow drifter wanted to check and see if certain cables were inside this, as we couldn't remember from looking at other people's. So, I've already opened this box, but it's okay. I'm still going to open it up. Everything is still like new. I've not done anything with this particular one. Now, checking out the box, the packaging is pretty nice. I got a nice picture on the side here of a car, which I've seen before. I forget who owns that car, but anyways. It's done in an OMG style livery. I'll read you some of the specs here off of the box, and it says here that there are certain colors you can get. None of them are marked. I know this is a black ESC. Pardon me. The colors here, maybe they'll be available in the future. I'm going to have to do an update later once I find out about that. But anyways, reading the specs, let's see here. Got a max current of 760 amps, a continued current of 120 amps, which is nice. Supports 2 to 3S LiPo, although I've never run a 3S LiPo on any OMG ESC. I've only stuck to 2S, and really for drifting, I don't think you need more than 2S, and if you need 3S to drift, well, I don't know, maybe you should check your car, because that's quite a lot of power. But anyways, to each their own. You may prefer the 3S. This also has a low voltage protection and overheating protection, which is good, because you really don't want to overheat your ESC on boost. That would be bad. What I can tell you, yes, at the very bottom part of this part here, it says fan. Yes, there is a fan, just like the original version 1 D-Run ESCs from OMG. They recommend you run, let's see, it says adaptive motor, a Strike, Epic, or Mirage motor. I've run one of the first gen OMG motors on my Sanwa boost, and it gets hot pretty quick, so I think these Strike and Epics and Mirages are designed a little bit more to handle the boost and to cool themselves a little better. I think there's a little bit more venting going on. So that is what they recommend for that. Let's see here. They include the wires inside, which I believe are 12 gauge. It says something here. It says wire of motor 12 gauge and wire to the battery 14. Personally, I'd run 12 all around. If you're going to run 12 to the motor, why run 14 at the battery? Run 12 all around. 12 is thicker. The smaller the number with wire, the thicker the wire is, so might as well run 12. I'll probably end up doing that myself. The weight of the ESC says it's 102 grams, so it's not that weighty, but it does have a nice aluminum case, which is nice. It says here the BEC type is a line model, and the BEC output is 6 volts. So that's... sorry, it is 6 volts / 3 amps, so that's decent. Some of my drifting buddies run additional BECs just to, well, they'll do it one for glitch busting, and also they'll do it so that the servos and the motor has, like, I would say, like, instant power, so when you step the boost hard, everything is there. If you have to work your servo a lot, all the power is there, prevents brownouts and stuff, so, you know, things like that. Very important. So, let's open this up. Sorry, I was seeing if I was going to have a burp there or not. Pardon me. It didn't come. So let's open this up and see what she looks like for you on the internets. Yes, there it is, buried in there. It comes a lot of foam, which is nice. Now this, I think, in the future they're going to start doing combos for this ESC motor combo. And they also sell this currently right now in two forms. You can get it with or without a program card. I opted for the program card, which is a very good idea, to be honest. And you know what? I think I left my program card in the bottom of my bag over here. Let me quickly dive into here and see if I can get this out. So many things hiding up in here. Look at Tekin motor. There it is. It's MST rims. Go away. Here's the program card as well. So the program card would be buried inside of the unit, or the box assembly. Now, I don't have another one of these ESCs currently soldered up in any one of these cars. This is the only one I have. But I have seen this working. So let me get the program cards here. Let me get the ESC out of the box. Ow. Bent my nail back right on. It's always fun. There it is. So let me use this as a nice background here so you can really see the ESC. This is it. This is the Polaris DR120AX2, the OMG second generation ESC with the boost. And these bullet terminals, look at those. Those are nice gold bullet terminals. I like the casing, how there's venting all around the fan. You can see it there out of my hand's shadow. There's vent holes everywhere. So the air definitely dissipates the heat. Sorry, let me got that backwards. The heat is dissipated very well from this casing, from what I've seen on a couple other cars that have this running locally at my local track. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I obtained this wonderful little ESC from Bruce Wee of Wee Customs. He is acting as the sort of local distributor for OMG here in Ontario, Canada. In the Greater Toronto area, and you can not only get this directly from him, from Wee Customs, you can also get OMG products at Rocks and Shocks in Oshawa, which is also in Ontario, Canada. It's about 25-30 minutes from the GTA, the Greater Toronto area. Or if you're out in the west end of Toronto, you can go to Mississauga and go see Galaxy Hobby. They have some there as well. So anyways, take a look around here. Look at the bottom of the casing. Very nice. It's very nicely done on the bottom. Polaris DR120AX2. And yes, so I do like the look of this thing. It does look really nice. The sort of goldish accents here on the heatsink are nice. The fan feels nice. And I've actually driven a couple cars with this ESC, and I do like it. And aside from that, the everything does go together pretty nicely. It's not too much different from the version 1. The main difference is the version 1 has a separate ESC sort of switch box for turning off and on and programming with a little button. This has the button built right in. Let me see if I can get it in the light, better lighting. I need better lighting in the bad shop anyway. That little thing up there is not cutting it. Anyways, the button is here, right where it says power. So it's an onboard style button, and some people don't like that because once that button breaks, they feel like you're SOL. There are ways around it. You can jerry-rig DIY fix it, but it can be messy, so we'll see how long that holds up. But so far, everyone else's is holding up okay. And the other major difference is instead of using the receiver wire to program with the program card, and this program card is much different than the version 1, they include here a little wire along with some heat shrink tubing for your gold wire. Geez, I forgot the word. Those things, you know what I mean. They give you a wire, separate wire, which plugs in the middle here where it says RX. That plugs into the program card. So that's different as well. So those are a couple subtle differences, but otherwise the footprint is a little bigger than the D-Run version 1, and I like it. So far I like it. The one thing I really like, aside from them giving you extra wires and stuff in the box, oh come on now box, if I can get it open here. There's the BEC. Now I was setting one of these up, soldering one of these up for another drifter a week or two ago, and we were comparing BECs from the version 1 to the version 2, and while this BEC appears to do less whatever the numbers are there. It appeared that this handled less voltage or amperage or whatever. It seemed to be less. The major difference was the type of capacitors that are on this. These are solid state, whereas on the version 1 they are not solid state. So I would imagine this would last much longer under a heavier demand than the non-solid states. So ultimately we went with this. The thing ran good. Buddy was boosting his life away and he loved it, so I'm going to say that's worth it, and it's good enough. So the other thing you get as well in the OMG package, you get some nice stickers. Check out all these OMG version 2 stickers, which I'll definitely be putting some on my car. Some white ones here, which are kind of hard to make. Oh, there we go. Kind of hard to make out on the camera anyway with my poor lighting. Just got more stickers here. They give you a good amount of stickers. Look at all these stickers here. Holy cow, I actually didn't look at all the stickers. That's a good amount of stickers, so you can add those to your car. It'll be nice. And they give you, like I said, they give you wires, which is very nice. The one thing I don't actually see is a sensor wire, so they may have not included the sensor wire, and or I may have already pulled it out of this box and put it on another car, or did something with testing. I'll have to check with Mr. Wee and see what he says. I forget if it comes with a sensor wire or not. So I'll have to double check on that. If you've got one of these and yours came with a sensor wire or did not, please comment, let me know. I'll be doing a follow-up video for this ESC once I get it all soldered up in a car, and I'll go through the program card, all the settings and stuff in the program card. This wire, I can tell you, is 12 gauge. Yeah, it's all 12 gauge. Everything, the motor and the battery wires. So I'd say run 12 gauge so you can get the maximum amount of power through this thing, which will be very nice. And they even pre-tin the wire ends with solder, although I like to re-hit with a little bit of my own solder and flux just to make it extra smooth, because I'm assuming this tinning was done by a machine, so it may not be precise. I like to personally check them myself so I know what I'm working with. But otherwise, the wires that OMG provide are good. All the ones they've ever provided with the version 1, good. So I've never had a problem with them. And other than that, let me just pop the program card back up here. So this program card, oh my god, the amount of settings that you have to change versus the version 1 is phenomenal. There are tons of settings in here, and the first time I went through one, I was slightly confused because I didn't really know what to tweak, really. The base settings will work good, but the base settings, this thing right out of the box, the boost is not enabled out of the box, so you will have to go into the card and set it up for some boost. And there's all kinds of things. You can set max rev, minimum rev, timing of the boost, timing of your turbo, how it activates, whether it's a full throttle activation, you pull your throttle trigger, you get full boost, or when you gradually bring up your throttle, the turbo and boost will start hitting throughout your range as like an RPM type setting. So I think most of us go with RPM because that's the most fun. We like to hear our turbo and boost go woo, 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 all the way through the rev range, versus you rev your motor up and then it hits like type deal. My sound effects are poor, so to say. But anyways, you get the idea. So there's a lot of settings you can put in through this program card. The other thing that caught my eye, which, oh my goodness, I'm going to break it before I even use it. That would be bad. So that would not be a fault of the product. That would be me. That would be a bad shop. Anyways, the one thing that did catch my eye when I was looking at this for the very first time, you see this? So typically here we have just a power output here, in case you want to run some power out of this for whatever reason to test something. Here is where you'd hook up that separate wire from the RX port there to here, so you can talk to the program card. But it was this port that caught my eye. USB. If the camera will focus. Focus. Not really, but there's the USB port. So that caught my eye, and I thought, ooh, maybe I can hook this up to the computer and do some even more fancy tunings and whatnot. Turns out I tried one with a friend. I hooked it up to a computer, a wonderful Windows-based computer, and it told me it installed a USB input driver, and that was it. Nothing else happened. So we went to the box, And after we had emptied all the contents, I didn't see anything with regards to a little CD for software or a USB, or not even this thing having the software sort of built into it to install straight to the computer. So I'm assuming that this USB functionality is something for the future that they're probably developing right now for computer-based tuning. Or it was put in and something was not completed in before they released it, so to say. So I'm guessing that this will be utilized in the future, this USB port. I would love to see that personally, because there are other manufacturers in sort of the same price range that you can hook up the program cards and the ESC through the program card to your computer and do some pretty cool tuning. Basically change every setting that's in here, but some of them allow you to make custom throttle curves and different things like that. So that would be a lot of fun. But to be honest, right now out of the box, just program stuff from here and you'll be fine. You shouldn't have a problem. I know one day we were setting up an ESC for one of the local drifters, and we made a quick little setting chart just to get everybody going with good settings that won't roast or cook your ESC or motor. It all depends what motor you run on the Boost and how the ESC will perform using that motor. Like I say, I use the version 1 OMG, and it tends to get hot pretty quickly. So I'm probably going to be swapping that out. But other guys that I've seen running the newer stuff like the Strike and Epic motors, and even some other different type of motors, different brands of motors, they've not had the same level of overheating. They still get pretty hot, but they've not had like a thermal shutdown, so to say, which is good. So I'll probably be swapping out my motor. And I'll probably put either a Strike or an Epic motor on this ESC. So, yes, that's about it. That's as much as I can tell you right now. The only other thing I can really tell you is the people who are running this currently, they are loving it. They are loving the Boost life. They love being able to rev a bit on the throttle trigger and hear the boost starting to spool, starting to rev up. They love that. And once you kind of go Boost on your car, you sort of have to relearn how to drive your car a bit, because you've got this extra power and extra wheel spin. It doesn't take a lot of extra car setup to really enjoy the Boost. It's more of you sort of adjust your driving style and then figure out, okay, should I turn the Boost down? Should I turn it up? Do I change anything on the car? You may have to run your car a couple batteries through, a couple sessions, good test sessions before really making any car changes. And for most guys that we've set up sort of the same default setting on the program card, they've been pretty happy with it, and nobody's really changed anything since then as far as I know. I'll be finding out more this week at my version 5.0 of Nezzo's Bad Compy. Yes, that will be going down at Rocks and Shocks on July 8th. So I'm curious actually to see how many people will actually run Boost in the competition, because even though you have Boost, it doesn't mean you're going to win right away, that's for sure. You have to drive it, you have to manage the Boost. It's all about the Boost. I have a feeling a lot of people will run Boost. But anyways, that's more to come in the future. I will do another video with this all wonderfully soldered up, as I do have a nice soldering iron. And I will get this installed into a car and do some quick bench comparison setup and go through this card with the base sort of settings that we've come up with. Mostly, I shouldn't say we've come up with, I should say Mr. Bruce Wee has come up with based on his readings and research and some testings. So, with that, I think I've blabbered on enough about this. You know, sometimes I just like to talk about things and whatever. But anyways, I've had very good success using the version 1 OMG ESC, so I don't see why this one would be any different. If anything, it should be better. And yeah, so I'll give you the price point as well. Right now, I believe the price point without a program card is roughly about $200 Canadian for this if you're in Canada. Elsewhere in the world, I'm not sure, but roughly this is about. I think the number is 200. I'll reconfirm with Mr. Wee, but that's what I remember in my head is $200, and I believe that does not include the program card. Yeah, I know it's not that much more for a program card, but you're looking at least $200 for the ESC. So give you some food for thought there. And yeah, look forward to the next video, and I'll do a quick soldered up bench comparison and then throw it on the track and maybe splice that video into it as well. We'll see what happens. Until then, yes, this has been Nezzo's Bad Shop with another unboxing. This is the OMG Polaris DR120AX2, the second generation of OMG ESC with BOOOOST. Alright, talk to you later. Enjoy these nice pictures before I go. Catch you later. Oh yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, whatever, all that. Let me know what you think. If you have one, let me know if you are looking to get one. Alright. Check you later.